All right, welcome to Tuesday, January 11th, 2020 Library Trustee meeting. We're going to start with public participation. Do not have any on our remote meeting. Okay, how about correspondence?
There's none.
None today. And approval of minutes for December 2nd, 2021. Has everyone had a chance to look?
Yes.
Sorry, is it December 2nd or December 9th?
We had the meeting?
Yeah. The agenda says the 2nd and the minutes say the 9th.
Oh, weird. Oh, I wasn't here. It was the 9th because I was in
I think we had to move it, right?
Yep.
Yes, so it is, the minutes are for December 9th, 2021. The minutes are as correct. Any other changes that need to be made? Mark, are you present?
I'm trying.
Okay, just making sure you're hearing us.
I can hear you. My camera's apparently not working at the moment.
We can hear you too, so that's good.
And it sounds like you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no changes. Does anyone else see anything?
No.
No changes.
Okay.
Move to approve the minutes of December 9th, 2021.
Have a motion?
I second.
All right, so we have Kimberly
Aye.
and Mira,
Aye.
Mark,
Hi.
and I am a yes as well. So the minutes are approved. How about the treasurer's report?
Hey, Sean has been working on getting me the Barth report closer to the end of month date. Sometimes he doesn't get it for a couple of weeks, but he's trying to get that a little faster from people. So I do actually have the one from the end of December, and I forwarded it to the trustees and to Sam and Helen. And I can tell you and I'm going to give you three numbers. These are the numbers that I give on a regular basis for the minutes. The building fund is $959,474.45. The grant fund is $3,519,328.53. And the gift fund is $4,159.31. Do you need me to repeat any of those?
Just the gift one.
Sure. $4,159.31.
Okay, got it.
All right. Any questions about that?
Has anyone heard back from Sean or can't remember her name? We had that meeting in early December about the budget. Have we heard anything back about that?
Alicia?
Yeah, so the next budget presentation before the Finance Committee is going to be on the 25th at 6 p.m. 25th at 6 p.m.
Have they gotten back to us at all about the, the 4% rule or anything like that we talked about for spending? Okay.
I did have a meeting with the town administrator, well, a little encounter with the town administrator and the finance director for like 30 seconds, and they said it didn't look bad at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feedback was minimal. All right. Do you need help preparing for that presentation?
No, it's just going for the FinCom and the select board. I've done it for the last 7 years. It's no big deal.
Just want to make sure you're ready to advocate for those things we need.
And they're not doing it in the library anymore for some reason. They're going to do it in town hall. They're doing all of them in town hall now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that 103?
Yeah.
Okay. And would you like support there? Okay. Let's check our calendars and get back to you on that one. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I think it's Friends report next. Yes. Mary, do you have a report?
Yes. So the Friends did not have a meeting in December, but they sent out the newsletter. Again, sort of kicking off asking for donations. Since they didn't get that in before the end of the year, they're doing that now, or maybe it was right before the end. And then they're working on organizing the book sale room and figuring out how to best utilize that. So that is what they are focusing on at the moment.
Okay. Have they set up their activities for the year? Have they talked about that yet? Their calendar?
I don't believe so, but I don't know. Things might still be in limbo with wondering how are they
They've got
going
a lot
to?
of things. Yeah, there's a lot of things changing.
Right.
All right. Any questions about the Friends report? Hi,
Just about
Wendy.
the books. Hey, Wendy. About the book sale room. I don't know. I could do this in my trustee updates later, but what I really liked about it when I was going in there was that they had those bags of books that were all thematically grouped, and so you could just buy a bag of books for like $5. That was amazing, and also I love that the crafts are in there too, and other little things you can buy. I think that really makes people want to go in a little bit more. I think that's
I
great.
believe those were left over from the holiday bazaar too. So they had the books bagged up from the holiday bazaar and then the crafts as well. I haven't looked to see if they were the same ones, but yeah.
It is inviting when you look in. It's very cute.
Susan, they make a lot of money every week.
Do they?
Yeah, apparently.
Great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Our increased foot traffic plus better visibility. That's awesome. All right. How about some building updates? Mark, hit us.
So Sam's probably more up to date on a lot of these things than I am. Since our last meeting, the solar panels went out to bid and we got 0 takers. So the issue was people, the way the contract was worded was the solar panels had to be in place somewhere in May, or there would be penalties for it being late because of how we had to spend the money from the state. So we've reached out to the OPM, and a couple other people reached out to some of the people that pulled papers but didn't bid and said it was concerned about the lead time for getting the solar panels. So we're working on revising the bid agreement, working through with the state on how we can actually pay for the panels before they're installed, basically to make sure we spend the money in time. So I'm hoping we've been through legal counsel, and hopefully within the next week or two, we'll put them back out to bid. The old library, the building department wants to take over the first floor, and Park and Rec wants the second floor. The building department is very anxious to get going and has asked us to rent a storage trailer to move the shelving in temporarily until we can figure out what to do with it. Whether it's sold to other libraries, or put out to auction for the town, or if it ends up being recycled. So I don't know if that happened this week. There was talk of it happening. We put a cap on the amount we would be willing to spend for renting a trailer, a storage container. So I don't know. Did one show up, Sam? Do you know?
I have not seen one. I did put it out there to the other library directors whether or not they wanted shelving. I contacted the MBLC about it, and so far no one's shown any interest. As far as the container, I have not seen anything yet.
So as it stands right now, we are not on the hook for cleaning out the library. DPW is going to start moving everything. So the building department can move in. The metal shelving will be moved out to the container, and any wood furniture will be moved up to the second or third floor until that goes through the whatever the disposal process is for the town, which could take a couple months. You want to go through any other updates, Sam?
Sure. So all of the little minor things that have been wrong with the building, the new building, most of them have been fixed. The show-ups were moved, like they were, like Ed asked them to be moved so that they are up to code. Now, we are having a problem with the metal gate, which we're trying to get fixed. Hopefully it'll be fixed tomorrow. It tripped again, so it's stuck halfway open. So we're trying to get that reset, and we're also trying to get them to the manufacturer to rewire it so that there's a button, a reset button closer to the ground. Because right now the issue is that we can't reach it; it's too high up. So we're trying to get that rewired, but apparently that's something the manufacturer has to do. All the other little things, most of them have been fixed. There was a carpenter here yesterday, and he went through and fixed. He's going to come back tomorrow morning, and the rest he fixed the holes where the strobes were moved, so the holes are filled. But I think he has to.
Sam, you're breaking up. I don't know if it's just my connection or if it's everyone's
I'm too
hearing
far
that.
away. He has
Okay.
to just paint over the area. I think most of the major issues have been fixed. So like I said, the OPM is coming by tomorrow to do a walkthrough. I believe he's doing it with Phil, the architect. And what's left is the wiring for the TV. They're coming next week to take a look at that. It's good.
Okay, so there's progress made.
Yeah.
Do we know any more on the shelf order for the?
Not yet. No.
All right. You guys covered a lot. Go.
There's two.
Mark.
So in the process of collecting the last round of pledges and a couple others, there's been a few names that were found to be missing from the donor wall. So we're working on getting and a few things on the donor wall that were incorrect. So we're working on getting replacement pieces for those and getting new blocks for that. And the signage for the rest of the room donors is in the manufacturing stage. And the puzzle table, yes. I've contacted the sign manufacturer and I haven't heard back from them on when it's going to be delivered, but hopefully it won't be too long. So.
Okay, yeah, and we had a few extra donors who jumped in too, so those will be added as well, I believe.
Yes.
We
have not actually put in the order for replacement for the donor wall yet. We were waiting till we got, anything that shook out from the end of the year pledge letters to make sure we didn't miss anything, so we don't have to keep going back.
Yeah.
So I would guess we'll put that in the next week or so and probably have it up in early February.
Okay, that'd be great. And we'll reach out to those that we missed so they know their block's up.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Let's do trustee updates. Kimberly, do you want to go?
Sure. I've been in and out of the library a whole lot, pretty much every day. But I finally got to spend a good chunk of time there, not just dropping off books and picking up books. A couple of days ago, Ambi and I spent over an hour at the puzzle table. One fun thing while I was there was that I heard an older couple getting their library cards, and they were so excited. And they hadn't been at our old library or anything. They came in, someone was kind of walking them around and giving them a little tour, and they just could not believe what we had there and just how beautiful it was. So that was really fun to overhear. I did have two questions. One is that at the library opening, we had that whiteboard that people put their list of things they were interested in. Is there any follow-up? I know there's a gajillion things happening, but do we have a plan to follow up with some of those, and kind of what's the plan? And then the third is, one of the things I really liked about the gate being half open, half closed, even though it shouldn't be, is that there was that table in front that had all sorts of, it looked like a good place to have announcements and things like that, which I feel like we're kind of lacking in the new library. And so I was wondering if that's going to stay, even if the gate gets fixed, or having at least a place to have that kind of thing.
Yeah, that table is actually already there.
Okay.
It was by the stairs. We just moved it over to
the stairs where we got it. Yeah. So that table where we all stood to kind of say sign the book, that's going to stay there and have kind of announced. Okay, great.
As far as the library of things, so the idea I came up with is actually, you might be able to see it. There's a kiosk right there. It has an iPad on it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be where I'm going to have a dedicated library of things webpage, basically. So
Awesome.
people can go up to it. And so right now I just have to figure out where I'm going to keep the things back here. So, but yeah,
Cool.
soon. Just have to figure out how we're going to do it.
Okay.
So
Moving
hopefully
along.
by the end of the month.
Awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
That's it for me.
Is there
Right.
room in the upstairs storage room now for the library of things stuff, or does that still need more cleaning out?
So it's filled with with the shelving. So it hasn't been as soon as they can put the shelving somewhere, then stuff in there, or we can put stuff back here. Or once that shelving goes up, maybe we can find a place on those shelves to put some stuff. Depends.
There are some things that people requested, and I guess I don't know if we need a little committee or if you're going to decide or whatever, like what we might spend some money on to get those things, how that process is going to work.
They agreed to. I asked them a couple months ago if they would pay for library things, and they gave us a few $1,000s for that. So I just
Did.
Friends. Okay, sorry, I could miss the first word. Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
a friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've already purchased a few things, and I'm just going to go out and get a few more things to.
Great.
So some things we might want to just put out and ask for donations of certain things too,
Mhm.
right? We could try that before we go out.
And buy new.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were lots of ideas on that list, so we can always look to see where we start and then add it over time too. Okay, Mira.
Like Kimberly said, I've been in and out of the library a lot. The kids are using it after school, which has been wonderful just to have them walk over after school and I can meet them there. The biggest surprise that I didn't think about was watching the kids. So we went sledding on Saturday, and then after we were done sledding, we were watching them from the Stewart's meeting room, and that's just a great view that I hadn't thought about. It's like you're at the level of the sledders, so that was just a really fun place to watch the sledding from. It's like being underwater at an aquarium where you can see the underwater view. So it was, I just found that really fun, and I hadn't thought about that view before. I thought looking down on it from above, but I liked that view as well. So that was a pleasant surprise.
You could stay warm while they're sledding even. You could be inside.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So that next time I will do that. This time they still needed me to hold them as they were getting in. They're like, next time you're on your own. I'm going inside.
It was an active sledding hill, so I can see people in and out.
Right.
Good. All right, Wendy.
I have not been able to get in the library nearly as much. Education right now is not for the faint of heart, and my hours have been mostly at the school. I had the pleasure of watching not from that room for sledding, Mira, and I think that would be genius. I was on the upper level, and it was really wonderful to see the parents, and there was a lot of just huge appreciation to be able to watch their kids from the warmth on that snow day, and that was really fantastic. So really appreciated that piece of it. Have hosted a couple of Girl Scout meetings and seen a lot of Girl Scout traffic in and out of the meeting rooms, and a lot of really respectful use from the Girl Scouts, which has been really nice to see. I think we talked last time that there was a lot of excitement and a lot of little bodies, and it's nice to see that kind of settle down and settle into really respectful use with some coaching and guidance. So appreciate that from the library. And so those have been really great pieces. We were able to deliver the jackets over, and have talked to several librarians that seem to have hit really nicely and been appreciated and worn around town. It looks like Mira is maybe modeling hers this evening. And so I feel like that's just a really nice bonus as we go into the new year, a nice little just nod to everyone who worked so hard this fall. So I was glad to be part of that. And as you're developing a list for the library of things, would just second what Mark said. I know that we have an additional Cricut machine and other things like that. I think I have an additional sewing machine. So as you kind of decide what you want, there are certain things that we would be happy to donate over and or kind of go in our circles to help acquire for the library.
Sewing machine has been popular, so if you have a sewing machine, that'd be great.
I might have one too.
Just one?
I have two, but I'll give one away.
I think I might have 2 extras just for my school when it falls out of fashion. I know I also have an extra air fryer that my school hasn't even unboxed. I don't know if we want to get in the business of donating air fryers, but I mean, I've got some random stuff. You should talk. Let me know what you're looking for.
All right, Mark, you're up.
So I've been in and out of the library. I actually snuck in over Christmas holiday to show my sister-in-law, who's a librarian in Ledyard, and they just absolutely loved the library. I think they took more pictures than Sarah did when they were in the library. So it was
That's not
great.
possible.
I want to thank Wendy for the jackets. They've been a big hit with the staff, and they're very warm, which is really nice on days like today. And Katrina and I have to get together soon and figure out what to do with the storage room and get that set up. So,
Yes, I have no plans for my weekends, Mark, except spending them in a closet with you. Do you have anything else to add before I jump in?
nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. So Mark and I finished moving the last of the library's things over, and my husband over to the storage area, and we will go help dig through and organize the storage area in an upcoming week. So that is on our to-do list. And then I have been going in, and there have been lots of pledges that have been coming in and being paid, and lots of notes that I'm signing to send us thank yous. So that is amazing to see that number keep growing. We're going to get there. And then the Girl Scouts, my Girl Scout troop organized the holiday trees and wreaths silent auction for the library, that annual, I think it's the 11th year that's been going on. Girl Scouts have done that. And I think there was 10 or 11 donated trees or wreaths that were designed with that theme of the book. And they were out since Thanksgiving to December 18th. And that auction raised $582, which was one of the better years, which was amazing. So I unfortunately have not been in the library as much as I'd like to, other than to sign letters and run out, but hopefully that will change soon. All right, Sam, you're up. Director's report.
Okay, so I hired Catherine Sebastian as our new wife. Catherine worked here maybe 3 or 4 years ago. She had to leave because her husband got a new job somewhere on an island in the middle of the Pacific, and so she left to go do that. She's back now. She got her MLS, and she really wanted to come back here, and so teen librarian. I got word today from HR that she passed her CORI test and her drug test, so she can hopefully start next week. They're going to contact her tomorrow about getting all the paperwork started. So we're happy to have her back. She comes in here anyway, so might as well pay her. The staff really love the fleece jackets. They all say, thanks. I love mine. Thank you very much. It was great. Other than that, just dealing with building stuff, which I already told you about. And then the rest are the stats. As you can see, we've increased our drawer count, and circulation has also increased by a lot over the last few months. Room use has increased by a lot.
I'm sorry, Sam, you broke up on that last one.
Room use has increased.
Room use, yes.
As far as the finances go, things are looking good. We're on track.
All right.
Talking, I can't hear.
You're
What?
totally cut out.
Go back about 30 seconds.
We had finances are on track.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, Sam? No. Any questions for Sam on the director's report?
I had a couple. Sam, with Andy retiring, does someone else want to get certified or whatever as a notary, just so that we always have someone
That's a good question.
available?
I haven't put it out there in a while, but I can do that again and see if anybody's interested. now that Julie B is back, we at least have her.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't know how often I mean, maybe it's something like Jenna or Catherine or someone, or Susan or someone that's there more often, right? It would be nice to get another body or two. And not to steal Katrina's thunder on any of this, but I noticed a couple of the staff have been out with COVID and things. How is the library doing in general on that?
Doing much better. Everybody's back now. So, but we chipping in where we could. But like I said, Amy's back tomorrow, and Julie B's back.
Mark, I don't understand why you think that's my thunder. All right. Sam, if you need help filling in things in or whatever, if staffing gets difficult, we can talk about how to handle some tough times if necessary. And if you need a hand, I know we're not certified to do all the things you need done, but if we can help, let us know. All right, so old business, we're going to talk about some library policies tonight. Kimberly, why don't you take the lead on this?
Okay, so Sam shared 3 policies that Mark, Sam, and I have all reviewed and made updates on. I guess I'm wondering, we could go one by one, or if you had a chance to read them, and if you had any thoughts, edits, comments, questions. Otherwise, we would be looking to vote on them to, I don't know, make them valid. What's the word? To update them. So has anyone read them and had a chance to take a look and have any questions, anything like that?
I have to admit, I've done a skim.
Okay. Do you want some more time? We could vote on them in February. I want to, if you're like, it's fine, or, we can vote on them. But if you think you want to have it, have a chance to look at them, we could vote it on February instead.
I didn't see any glaring red flags from my skim. I read them enough to know that I was like, okay. But I am very curious about what Mira, Mark, and Wendy have.
Mark read them. Mark was on them.
Mark wrote them.
Yeah.
One question I had, and I apologize, I read them and then I'm not at my best right now. Is there a maximum number of I'm sorry, I'm on the collection box one. Is there a maximum number of collection boxes the library will host at any given time, and or is that even something we need to worry about?
You're muted, Sam.
Sam, it's not coming in.
I don't think there's been a maximum number as long as I've been here, but there's not a lot of space, so maybe we want to come up with them.
The space determines the maximum we have, so we basically would say that, they're kind of, in the past they've been on a first come first serve, and we limit the amount of time, and then I think in the past the policy was 4 weeks, and if after 4 weeks theoretically you couldn't continue with the collection box. So we had those others like the eyeglasses and some others that seem to live in the library forever, and I don't know if anyone ever came and collected anything from them. So the goal with updating the policy was to allow it so that we didn't actually necessarily cap it at 4 weeks, but if we'll figure out how many collection boxes we can fit, and that's the maximum number we can have. And if there's no demand for it and you're doing a good job maintaining your collection box, you can keep going. So
reapply.
I know you can reapply. So the TerraCycle has been there for a while, and I think she does a pretty good job of keeping it clean and clean and emptied appropriately, right? So if no one else needs a collection box, you shouldn't necessarily limit the TerraCycle to only being once per year, right? But if there's a demand for the space, then maybe she doesn't get it permanently, effectively, right? So.
Yes, I mean, I think I had no problem with it at all. I think my question for consideration by the board was, it reads now that it's a maximum of 4 weeks, and if you can reapply, I think that's fine. I'm wondering more is like, do you need a statement in there, like the number is at the discretion of the director, or at, you know, something like that? Like if you ended up with 15 senior projects all at once, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. Because I think that we are seeing a rise in the space. We're seeing a rise in the rooms. I think there is some potential to have a lot of National Honor Society projects or things like that kind of default to the library. And so I don't know if you want to be in front of that or deal with it after the fact. So that was the only feedback I had on that one. And I didn't have feedback on the other two.
I think capping the number is a good thing, but I think we were going to buy the boxes. So I think the idea was to figure out how many boxes fit and then cap it based on the number of boxes that fit. And we didn't have the boxes at the time we wrote the policy, so we couldn't say what the number was.
So it could be just as simple as like available boxes,
Yeah,
like putting available in there somewhere, or set
I think
quantity
that's
determined by library. Yeah.
That seems like a worthy amendment.
Someone I'm writing total quantity of boxes at any given time. If we're not doing it as a number, how do we want to say it?
Where are we?
Oh, sorry. Because that's a PDF, you can't. I'll share. I'll share in the chat.
Okay, so the paragraph of only one collection box per applicant. Does everyone see that one? Okay.
Maybe we should put it there or put it in the next paragraph.
The library provides a limited amount of collection boxes or something like that, or it,
We say it strongly encourages the use of your own collection or collection containers
Of ours.
in the next paragraph.
It strongly encourages that they use our collection containers, but does not.
It doesn't require
okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
so where it says approval is granted, we could say collection, you know, there's limited space, you know.
So
total
the
number of
number of-
boxes at any time is at the discretion of the director.
Yeah,
Kind of feels like Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
Like you can only have so many in front of Market Basket at one time, right?
One troop per location.
Exactly.
Per time block.
okay. Okay. So I just added this in.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right. Do we need to vote on this? Well, I guess it's all part of it now, so we can vote all together. We don't have to vote on that like specific line, right? Or do we?
no, we don't have to.
No, we don't.
You're
We
just
can
voting to
approve
policy.
the policy as currently worded.
Okay. Mira, do you have anything on any of these?
Again, I just took a quick skim. So I'm looking at the borrowing privileges one right now. And
Share that.
are these new like if the material is 5 weeks overdue, the patron's borrowing privileges are suspended? Has that been before, or is that new? Because we've had some things missing for many months that have turned up, but I don't know how those things will fit in with the borrowing policies
How
at
does
the
that
very
work
end
with
of
the automatic renewals as well?
Yeah. So right now there's automatic renewals. So things just automatically renew. If something that's missing and then returned, your privileges return as well. The system just says, okay, it's back. It's good. We don't have any fines anymore. So you really have to
You have to work hard to be suspended.
Right.
I mean, it is possible if you don't return all of your books. Just saying.
Right. I mean, we've had books missing for 4 or 5 months that have eventually come back, but you know, would our privileges be suspended during that 5 months that before we look for it?
Yeah.
Is that something that happens automatically? Because we've definitely had things missing too that we have not been. Like a book will get lost. This was when Abby was younger. We had all those picture books, and something would end up under a couch for months. And Diane would always say, "Just bring it back when you find it." And so I don't know. Like, does it happen automatically after 5 weeks, or is it more of a?
Sometimes we can go in there and renew it if the patron asks us to. Sometimes it depends. If it's another library's book, then it depends on what their policies are.
I think it's a good thing to have in here. I was just wondering if it's a little fluid in real life.
So I thought also that things would go into a lost but looking stage too, right?
Yeah,
I believe
it's-
so.
Okay.
Yeah, we give you a lot of time. It takes a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's
You
also
do give a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
I think I also always got anxious before it ended up being the time period, and I just bought the book and gave it to the library anyway because I didn't like having something missing. So I think trustful. I never even waited 5 weeks to find out what would happen.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, if your kids take the entire summer to return their summer reading books, they will lose their library cards by the end of summer. Just
Okay, that's
an experience.
Well, we just returned one in December that I think was checked out in July. So it finally reappeared when somebody cleaned out her closet. So that, yeah.
There was one other question that's left here that I think Mark had. I wanted to ask Sam probably. Mark, you had, is the time frame, this is overdue notices are sent when the material is 2 weeks and 1 day overdue. And you want to know if that is true of all materials or if that varies depending on the checkout period for a specific piece of, like a DVD or a hot book.
It's true.
What's that?
It's true of everything.
True of everything. Great. Okay. So that's good.
And Sam, you just said if a book is from another library, but it's exceeding whatever their borrowing privileges are, then that's you guys don't have discretion over that.
No, we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to go in there and, like, if someone loses a book from Westford, we can't just say, "Oh, don't worry about it." Like if I wanted to, I can technically say that for a Littleton item, but I can't say Westford or Burlington or.
Yeah.
So interlibrary loans are subject to the policies of the library that it came from. Okay.
Right. So in that case, if you lost a Westford book, we would tell you call Westford and you have to talk to them about it.
I'm going to add that as something because I think that's
important to recognize.
Interlibrary loans are subject to the policies of the owner library.
Sam, I can't hear you. Did you have the right term?
Library.
What's it called?
Owning library.
Owning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today at our consortium meeting, we talked about how we might be creating a statewide library card. So it might be something you can go to any library in the state. The network executive directors are talking about that.
Wow.
So right now, if you live in Massachusetts, you can get a Boston Public Library card.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make it something like that where any library in the state can.
Just the one card. That'd be nice.
Awesome.
Because I have 3
Cool.
right now. So yeah.
Do too.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Any more updates, questions, thoughts on these policies?
Has anyone sorry, go ahead, Wendy.
This is just silly. I'm assuming you'll change the policy updated date at the end.
Oh yeah. Also, I'm gonna after we've voted on all the policies, I'm gonna put it into a format that's consistent across the policies. Because now we have some that are like numbered and some that have bullets, and so we're gonna neaten it all up.
Love it.
And put them all in the same font.
And put them all in the same font, all those things. Yes, right? Yeah.
Right now, they're their own individual books. All right. So any comments on the collection development policy?
All right. Move to approve the collection development policy as we have amended it this evening.
Second.
Okay, Wendy,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Mira,
Yes.
Kimberly.
Yes,
I am a yes.
that's everybody, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now on the nonprofit collection box policy, move to approve the nonprofit collection box policy as amended this evening.
Second.
Okay, Kimberly,
Yes.
Mira,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
and I will also be a yes.
And lastly, move to approve the bar privileges policy as amended this evening.
Second.
Second.
All right, Kimberly,
Yes.
Mira,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
and I am also a yes.
This is exciting. We're making things happen. Nice.
All right, let's continue with old business to do the old library cleanup, which Mark kind of already touched on. So the old library is going to be, to my knowledge, turned over. The bottom floor will be the building department. The top 2 floors will be park and rec. As Mark acknowledged earlier, we'll have the storage container coming. And we, at this point, are not in charge of anything other than the fee for the container that has been agreed upon. Is that true? Did I miss anything?
That's my understanding at this point. The disposition of the Cooper room is still TBD. I asked at the last selectmen's meeting where they were talking about the library that they keep the Cooper room as a community meeting room, at least until the pandemic is more under control and there's more other meeting rooms for use in town. So I don't know if that will happen or not. So.
But the idea is that would fall under with the multi-purpose room, and the keys and things would go through a different pathway, not
Yes.
the library. So it's not,
Yes.
again, not under our umbrella anymore.
No.
Okay. Great. And then new business. Anything new? What's the difference between new and other? Someone please enlighten me.
When do you want to do the COVID policy?
That's the question I have.
So other business is business that wasn't accounted for under old business or new business.
Okay.
So since we never discussed talking about a COVID policy, it would be other business.
All right, we are on other business. So the CDC and the state have changed their isolation and quarantine guidelines in the last couple of weeks. And that means that our COVID-19 staff isolation and quarantine policy is out of date and no longer in alignment with those standards or guidelines. So I emailed everyone, given that this was not on our agenda, I updated the policy for us to discuss tonight. But to not take action on, given that we're not it wasn't on the agenda. Although I fear that we're going to file in this middle stage where Sam's going to need it and we're not going to have voted on it. So at the very least we should discuss.
Like I said, it's come up before with certain staff having, interactions with COVID. And we've just been following what HR's direction for other town employees. So it's pretty similar to what the CDC guidelines are. So even if it doesn't come up, we still have HR guidelines to follow.
And I know from the COVID working group meetings that HR has those new standards. So that is, at least you have guidance to go through. So maybe our policy is no longer needed.
Yeah. Staff is getting paid the way with, so that's not an issue. Said we already had a couple of staff members that had close contact situations or had COVID, and we dealt with it. Yeah.
Okay. Sam, you're disappearing again. So
sorry. I think I have like 3. I don't really use this computer setup. I'm usually at home, so I think I have like 3 different microphones, and I don't think I'm using the right one. So anyway, we have town HR guidelines for this. Staff's getting paid. That's the most important thing. And whenever a way to cover staff needs. So I think it's okay.
Okay. So
Plus, it's
then
probably
my,
going to change in the next month anyway. So
I was just saying,
Yeah.
thinking that. So at the time we created this policy, there was not an HR policy that was clear and appropriate for the changing landscape of COVID. So the question is now, should we rescind this policy and just follow HR guidance, or do you feel you need a policy?
what HR has given us is good.
Okay.
Plus, I think it becomes a little confusing for staff and the town.
I'm all for aligning our policy with the towns for consistency. So at our next meeting, we could rescind this if, can we put that under old business to vote next time? And in the meantime, direction we are providing is to follow HR's guidance. Okay. Is there anything else under new or other business? I'm seeing some shaking heads no. So that brings us to the end of our meeting. Thank you, Anne, for taking notes.
Thank you, Anne.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Okay, Kimberly,
Aye.
Mira,
Hi.
Mark,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
and Katrina's a yes. So we will see everyone at the February 3rd, 2022 meeting. Sam, I think our intention was try to do in person, but I think we need to wait till closer because we were hoping to interview the student. So
I haven't gotten any applicants for that. So if anybody knows anyone.
okay, have we resent the notification since before the holidays?
I can send it out again and put it on Constant Contact and Facebook, but
Is it going to the high school through Dorothy too? Has anyone from who has a high school kid checked to make sure it's in there? Because sometimes things don't get in.
Who has a high school?
None of us. Maybe someone knows someone, because that happens with us for LEF that doesn't get in. So.
Sue Harvey might be able to check for us.
I'll follow up with the guidance counselor and Susan Harvey.
Thank you.
So let me know when you send it, Sam, and I'll follow up with them.
I'll send it in the morning.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
See everyone February 3rd.
Bye-bye.